welcome to Divine Dressed and Unbothered. I am Jinko, and today we are going to discuss 3 signs that right now you may be feeling like you're lost, but you're not lost. You're just recalibrating, or you're being recalibrated by, the universe, God, the Most High, wherever you are in your journey, okay? But you're not lost. You're just recalibrating, okay? So, I was just trying to sometimes we get in places or spaces where we begin to feel lost, or we begin to feel like, am I still growing? Am I still in the right space? Am I still doing the right things? Sometimes in our spiritual journey, we get a little bit, or we feel a little bit stuck. And that's when the calibration is happening, the recalibration, so that you can be level in the spot that you're in. Okay, so the first sign that you are not lost, you are being recalibrated, is you feel disconnected. You feel disconnected from old routines. You feel disconnected from old friends. You feel disconnected from just people, places, and things in general. Things that used to be so important to you, maybe don't got no gravity no more. The things, that you used to do, maybe you used to go out a lot. Maybe you used to, always look for, how rude. Maybe you used to look for, things and people. You just disconnected from the old you, or the old thought processes that you used to have. Maybe some places that you used to like to go, you no longer even frequent or think about. Maybe some of the old friends that you had, you just kind of can't really connect. That's something that I'm personally going through right now. It's very difficult for me to connect to my last lifetime. So when I am around some of my old friends, I do tend to feel a little bit wonky, and I don't really feel as connected as I used to feel. I kind of feel like we're just different people, if you will. And it ain't no love lost, you know what I mean? Because they hold a special space for me in my life at that time. But this is a different time. This is a different timeline. I'm a different person. They are different people, and you tend to disconnect from that. Maybe you used to work out all the time and now you just can't. Maybe you don't eat the same foods. You're just disconnecting from that space that you were in. And don't feel lost. That's growth. You know what I mean? You're changing. You're going towards something. Maybe you don't listen to the same type of music. Maybe you used to smoke weed and you don't anymore. Or maybe you used to drink and you don't anymore. Or maybe you didn't do those things and you do now. So, don't allow yourself to feel like you're in a space of nothingness, or that you're in a void. You're just, in the hallway. You're in the hallway of the new you. And whatever that brings about in you, whatever changes need to take place, the disconnect is very important sometimes, because sometimes everybody can't go. You know what I mean? You can't take some of these old ways, thought processes, routines, people, ideologies. We can't take them with us to where we're headed, or to the open door that the Most High has prepared for us. So sometimes I feel like we get lost in that, or sometimes we feel lost. And, I used to really loathe that lost feeling, but now I welcome it, because that lets me know that I'm heading to another space. It's so many levels to this shit, man. So that was that is the first feeling of disconnection from people, places, things, routines, thought processes, the way that you understand certain things, the way that maybe you even speak certain things. Okay? So number 2 is you are emotionally sensitive. If you feel yourself becoming more emotionally sensitive to certain people, places, and things, certain thoughts, ideas, if you feel yourself becoming sensitive without an explanation, though, it's out of nowhere, you just started to become sensitive to energies, or the way that people act or interact, the way that people go about things, or say things, do things, Maybe you used to be a person that cried a lot and now you find yourself being thicker skinned. Or maybe you're a person that never showed emotion and now you just show so much emotion. Or, it's just the shift. It's your shift. It is your recalibration. It is the sign from the universe that you are changing, you are morphing, you are becoming new. Just for me personally, I've always been uber sensitive, and I still am pretty sensitive, but the things that used to just bother my little soul, Lord, they used to just bother my little spirit. And now I be like, okay, with a straight face and be fine, honey, because it don't affect me. And I think that is another part of just growing, just changing, just becoming different. You know what I mean? And there's no explanation for it because it's just in the process, if that makes sense. So you can't really explain the process while you're in it. You kind of have to go through it and then you can bullet point or create a template. Can't create a template of something you've never been through. You kind of have to go through it and then you're able to be like, okay, that. So yeah, if you find yourself becoming like more emotionally sensitive or energetically sensitive, because man, when I say I'm energetically sensitive, I've always been an empath, but I just didn't know what an empath was for a long time. And I didn't know that those feelings that I was feeling were empathically being given to me from other sources. Sometimes just, my antennas. Sometimes it was from other energies impressing upon me. Sometimes it was just nature, just the feeling of certain things. I would be able to walk into a room and it was like heavy. You know what I mean? Like I was gonna die in that motherfucker because it was just so much crammed, tense, heavy energy. And I used to like wear it. You know what I mean? Now I wear armor because I know that it can penetrate me, my aura, my spirit, if I allow it to. So now I've learned to just observe and not absorb energies, to where before I was able to realize what was going on and that I was empathically moving through life and taking on others' emotions and thought processes, then I was thinking like, what is wrong? Like I'm a depressed person. I'm sad all the time. Or, I can feel these things that I didn't know why or how, where they were coming from. And that was in the process. So I did begin to feel really lost because I felt like, well, damn, like, I don't know why I feel like this. I don't know where these feelings or these emotions came from. And sometimes it could be a little bit tricky. You could get lost in that process. But it was just the Most High, it was the universe recalibrating me so that I can begin to understand my strengths, because it is a strength. It's a strength when I can sit at a table with 4 or 5 other people and I know how you feel. I know what you think, not only of me, but of you. I know what you want to say, but you're not brave enough to say. I know your cowardly ways. I can feel your thoughts. I can hear them. They whisper to me through your eyes. That is a gift, but I didn't know what it was for years. So it really did have me bogged down. But once I realized that this ain't no curse, like this is a divine gift, that only God in the universe could have given me. So once I realized that and I really learned how to use it and protect it, it became a strength. So allow yourself to become emotionally sensitive to certain things, but always know how to protect yourself, and always know that while you can be emotionally sensitive and while you can be empathetic or sympathetic, don't allow those things to penetrate your aura or your spirit personally, okay? So that is sign number 2, that you are not lost. You on the path. You're just, you're being recalibrated. Okay, and sign number 3 that you are not lost, you are being recalibrated, is that you crave solitude. You want to be alone or in just a peaceful state. A lot of people think that solitude is just a state of being all by yourself, you know, or isolating. You can be in solitude around others. They just have to be in a peaceful energy as well. And if you find people that feed your peace, that is a solitude, if you will, or that is a solace place. So for those that like to be alone, those that like to be in just pretty much isolated. I have always been a loner. I am the true motherfucking loner because I love to be by myself. That is where I feel the safest. I feel the happiest. I feel the calmest. I feel the clearest, because that's when it's just me and God when I'm alone. So when I get to the space where I am in solitude, or when I am isolated, I'll say, I appreciate that time so much. That is like the bomb.com for me, because I don't have to worry about another person's thoughts. I don't have to worry about because when I say that they impede me, another person in this room, their thoughts impede me to the point where it's almost like someone tapping on my shoulder like, hey, yeah, you. I think this, or I feel like this, or I wish I could, you know what I mean? And it's almost like the third person. So to be alone is the absence of that for me. To be in solitude, which is to be in a space around either alone, isolated, or around people that don't impress upon my energy so much that I have to like go to my own space and almost like strip down and cleanse myself of other people's energies. You know what I mean? So wanting, loving, and desiring solitude, craving it, that's a sign that you are being recalibrated by the Most High, by the universe. Because when the universe recalibrates us, it just puts us in a space where we not only understand ourselves, but we can teeter. We can equally understand our energy and what's separate from it. Okay? And when you get in these solace places, you are able to unpack, and you are able to leave or to decipher the difference between those feelings that you may have picked up in your own personal feelings. So to crave that is not selfish, or to crave or desire to be alone or in solitude, or to isolate, to self-isolate. It is not selfish. It is necessary. And the more we learn how to isolate or create these empty moments and spaces for ourselves and our energy, we grow. We grow. You grow when you're able to unpack and figure out why certain things affected you a certain way. And you can't do that in a room full of people. And don't be no empath. So you can't understand yourself except for basically when you are alone. So craving that solitude is probably should have been number 1, because that's one of the biggest signs that you're not lost. Because people that like to be alone know what the people that need a crowd don't know, which is being alone is when you are in the presence of God. Okay? So that is it. I just wanted to give those 3 quick signs of, the things that we sometimes get involved in and we begin to feel lost. But it's not a loss. It's just the way that it's intended for you to find your space, your head space, okay? So thank you guys for watching. I am Jean Co. This is Divine Dressed and Unbothered. I will see you back for another video another time. Bye.